Today we're going to talk about how to set up the product feeds. The product feeds are for select furniture brands and can help automate your pricing and availability of those products. It is important to remember that you are ultimately responsible for the price that's displayed on your site, so you will want to have a price list or an idea in mind of what products should be displaying for prices. So once you've set up the feed, you can double check and confirm that it is doing what it should be doing. To open your product feeds, you would select Open. Today we're going to work on Catmapper. When you first open it, the page will look something like this. To activate the product feed that updates the website, you would toggle next to Activate the product feed that updates the website. If you would like the feed to update featured products and collections, you may also toggle that. If you would like to keep your featured products priced manually, then you would turn this off. You may also decide whether or not you want to apply the feed to all categories for the brand, or you may select the categories that you would like to display. If this is your preferred option, then you select Open next to it, and then you may toggle next to the items that you would like to, or the categories that you would like to display on your site. When you're done with that, you can decide if you want to add or remove products and collections based on stock availability. This would be at the warehouse and not in your store. So if the warehouse has a different number of items than you do, then the site might display differently. And then you may also decide if you have a warehouse quantity minimum preference and whether or not you'd like to include inventory in transit. For pricing, if you want to have prices displayed on your site, then you would toggle next to Enable Pricing on the website, and then you can choose if you would like to use margin or markup or multiplier. We give a little explanation of which each of those would mean and what they would look like. You can also decide if you're going to use a global modifier. The global modifier was originally created for the Canadian clients to offset the variance between the dollars in the US and in Canada. Some of our US clients will use it to increase the cost of the items. Some do not. Some Canadian clients opt not to use it for whatever reason. So it's entirely up to you whether or not you would use it. You can also decide if you want to round the price or not, and what that last digit would be. In this example, the last digit is 9, so an item would display as $89.00. And then you can also decide if you're rounding closest up or down. Price mapping, you typically would keep it at base cost. Some areas would opt for map, but most of them would be base cost. And then you have a markup option. Here, the default markup is 80% for regular price, reduced price of 60%, and default cents for 99 cents for both. Sometimes you might want to have exceptions per department or per category. If a department sells better or worse than other areas, you might want to give it a different markup. If your home accent area does not do so well or does not sell as well as your other areas, you might want to have that a little bit lower. And likewise, if your sofas sell very, very well, you might want to have those a little bit higher. And then for your collections, you decide whether you want to price your collections as well or leave those blank. If you're pricing them as well, you would be able to use the same markup that you have. And again, per department, if you wanted to price those a little bit differently, you would be able to. And once you're done and ready to submit your settings, you would click submit. While we wait for that to run, I'll point out that this would be a good time to also check your list of locked products and collections. If there were a number here in the parentheses, that would indicate that you have locked products on your site. Locked products do not get touched by the feed. Sometimes you might have an item that the brand deems unavailable or discontinued, but you still sell it. In that case, you would want to price it manually and lock it. Once you sold that item, you would want to come over here and unlock it. So it's a good idea to just regularly check when you're adjusting or making changes to your feed, or if you notice that items for that brand are not priced as expected, but everything else is, it's likely locked or a featured product. So you would want to come in here and check. You'd be able to unlock the items that were here over based here. Now the feed has finished running. Our final step will be to confirm the price of 2 or 3 items for that brand. So we'll come over here and select the brand that we want to use. And if that brand price or if that item price is as expected, then we know that it is working. We would just do a quick eyeball of this row of items, make sure that it's working, displaying as expected, and then we can check another area of that brand. And make sure that those are all displaying as expected. If they are, then we know that the feed is doing what it's supposed to do. And if they are not, then we can make adjustments to our settings for cost, either mark them higher or lower or make additional adjustments. If you have questions or run into any snags, please reach out to us at service@tailbase.com and we can help you get that set up. Thank you. Have a great day.